People with IQ of 150 and over, what do you do for a living? What are your hobbies, favorite books, movies, and most importantly, your, oh my god I am an idiot moment? Not me. I am a dumb, but a classmate who took the bus with me every day, who was in a P everything, early admission to Harvard, all that stuff, failed his driver's test over 10 times and left his bag on the bus almost every single day. My IQ was about 125 when first tested. After practicing IQ tests for a new job, it suddenly went up to over 150 in most of the standard assessment center tests. I really don't think these tests are accurate. That being said, I work in software development. There definitely is a learning curve to the tests. I was told by the people who tested me that the first time you are tested is the most accurate, and it takes a few years to forget enough of the test to where it's accurate again. I am a doctor. Hobbies include reading about physics and drinking booze. High IQ equals common sense. In fact, often quite the opposite. I have always been exceptionally good at passing tests, but I constantly do stupid things. My neighbor knocked on my door last night to tell me that my keys were still in the outside of my door. 3 hours after I got home. I find the TV remote in the fridge on a scarily regular basis. I shot off the back of my treadmill a couple of days ago because I absent-mindedly just stopped mid-session at a full run, luckily landing on a bed. I put odd shoes on the other day and would have gone to work like that if it had not felt so strange to have 1 4-inch stiletto and 1 kitten heel on. The list goes on, and I get even dumber when I am drunk. I am a military pilot with a couple of engineering degrees and am starting a doctoral program this year. I have spent part of my career as a sailor, part flying and part in university. As other people have mentioned, IQ scores are a hard way to really quantify intelligence. But when I was in my early 20s, I applied to Mensa and was accepted after scoring at the 90th percentile on both of the 2 tests they administer. I went to exactly 1 meeting. It seemed like nobody in the group was doing anything super exciting and most were quite a bit older. Guess I just didn't fit in. I do plenty of stupid things, fewer now that I have stopped drinking. I used to drink a lot. I will recount a particularly funny one, though, that somewhat relates to the topic. I joined the Navy at 19, as an enlisted sailor after failing first-year university badly due to immaturity and a shocking lack of discipline. When we went to sea it was often boring, so I would give myself a random goal to achieve for a particular trip. One trip I learned Morse code, another I learned semaphore. I had a knack for memorizing stuff, so one trip I decided to see if I could memorize pi to 1000 digits. By the end of the trip a couple of weeks later I had gotten to 800. Not quite to my goal but fairly impressive, I thought. As everyone was packing their stuff and getting ready to head home from the ship, I grabbed the phone to call my fianc to come pick me up. For the life of me I could not remember my own phone number. My head was so full of pi that I sat on the ship for 2 hours after everyone had left searching through paperwork trying to find my number. Got made fun of pretty badly for that one. At 57 years old, I wish I could tell you that I have it all figured out, but that would be a lie. At the same time, this is what I have figured out that works for me. I am literally unemployable but have found that working for myself allows me to set whatever goals I desire and keep within whatever ethical constraints I feel I need to live with. One critical talent that I believe everyone needs to master is being able to adapt quickly and teach yourself whatever skills you need to make those adaptations. At this point in my life, I am working on my 6th career path. This is more to do with the fact that once I completely understand what I am doing, I begin to find it boring. This syndrome seems to be being echoed in the comments here even, though I suspect that some may not have actually identified why they behave the way they do. One more thing, and I am not sure if this is something that is personal or extends across the majority of people here. Find someone who understands you and can live with your quirks. I have been married to my wife for a little over 20 years, and while there are many things I have experienced that didn't help me move forward, this marriage is one thing that I am deeply thankful for. Hope this has been helpful. I am a nuclear instrumentation technician. I fix things at a nuclear power plant. To make it simple, I play a lot of video games, watch sci-fi and fantasy stuff, play a lot of role-playing games, enjoy Dean Koontz novels and the Song of Ice and Fire, Game of Thrones series, watch almost anything but horror. Overactive imagination plus powerful mind equals no sleep, and my idiot moments typically come from the fact that I am a DD and zone out, do stupid absent-minded things. I regularly pull on push doors, for one. ITT people are not as smart as they claim they are, because they don't do shit but justify it by thinking they are the exception and that they are just lazy and unmotivated but could do it if they wanted to. Seriously, I hate most of the people responding to this thread because they are so blind. Edit. I hope some of these people responding to me are being sarcastic or joking. This is too much. I can't even deal. I went from anger to laughter. Jesus Christ. Bear in mind this question is being answered by the subset of 150 IQ folks who are also Redditors. The motivated ones are too busy trying to cure cancer to respond to random Reddit threads. I am a grad student, PhD track, computer science. Taught myself how to program at a young age. Homeschooled due to giftedness from 3rd grade, high school, graduated early to degrees by age 20. Hobbies are drawing, reading, any sort of craft, knitting, crochet, sewing, jewelry making, whatever else sparks my interest. Favorite books are, too many to list, classics, sci-fi, mythology, and most recently Russian plays. My idiot moments are daily, and I have generally very low self-esteem, imposter syndrome. Anyone. Current idiot moment is that I have a final project for a course due in several hours and I have not started the paper for it. Yeah, even though I know my IQ is statistically 1 to 3 million, I feel quite disappointingly average, save for my childhood and perhaps slightly unusual interests. Yeah, I am a janitor at a local college. Sometimes when everyone's gone, I will see a math problem on the blackboard and just solve it, never tell anyone. I am a patent attorney with my own practice. My main hobby, though it's more than a hobby, is music, specifically piano playing and composing. I am also a language nerd and currently studying Hungarian. Favorite books? Way too many to list. Not really into movies all that much, though I like art house type movies with intelligent plots and interesting characters. I am probably a bit older than the other people answering this question, 36. I did go through a lazy, unmotivated stage in high school and college. The coursework was so easy for me that I could just put in a half-assed effort at the very last moment and get a respectable B. It took me a long time to overcome that habit and to learn to really put in my best effort every time. When I started doing that, my life changed. As for idiot moments, well, the other day I tried to make coffee with no coffee. Does that count? I spend a lot of time reading. I have, oh god, I am an idiot moments daily. I have never seen high intelligence prevent a brain fart. I think one of the underrated pleasures that comes from having a high IQ is smugly listening to someone else brag about their IQ. I have come to realize that problems with concentration and motivation are fairly common amongst high IQ people, myself included. I slept through high school but aced all the tests, and inevitably got my diploma, dropped out of college to work more, and I am currently working in a warehouse chucking boxes for 4-7 hours a day. Well, after high school, I could not afford college even with all my scholarships. So I stayed at home for a year. Moved out from my parents' roof a few months ago and now I stock electronics at Walmart. Until I qualify for in-state tuition here. I have no motivation issues, just roadblocks and life suck. But hey, I will be more than happy to downsell you a computer rather trying to upsell like the douches here. This thread is silly. I am going to go read the one about ex-prostitutes now. Thanks for watching. Share your opinion in the comments. Please support the channel by liking and subscribing. It will help a lot.